For centuries, alien civilizations watched Earth with curiosity and confusion. Despite its apparent fragility, humanity survived encounters that annihilated other species. Worlds fell in minutes, but humans endured, adapted, and evolved. Analysts across multiple star systems debated the anomaly. How could such a seemingly weak species resist or evade threats that would devastate others? Some argued it was luck, others speculated hidden defenses. Alien leaders could not reconcile the data. Intelligence suggested humans were insignificant, yet outcomes consistently contradicted logic. Cloaked observation satellites deployed in orbit catalogued human activity. Cities, populations, and military structures were scanned, yet nothing indicated significant offensive power. Ships were small, weapons limited, and strategies appeared primitive. Even from orbit, Earth seemed vulnerable. Yet patterns emerged: unexplained destruction of probes, unusual energy signatures, and subtle anomalies that human eyes might dismiss. Analysts grew suspicious. There was a hidden layer of capability, concealed behind the illusion of weakness. Debates raged in alien councils. Some factions pushed for immediate strikes, believing humans a negligible threat. Others urged patience, convinced the planet masked advanced defenses. Intelligence officers pored over data for months, simulating attacks and predicting outcomes. Each calculation ended the same: humans survived, countered, or adapted beyond expectation. The anomaly could not be ignored. Questions turned to theories. Could humans possess technology beyond observation? Were they exceptional in strategy, resilience, or cunning? Anomalies became impossible to dismiss. Observational satellites detected self-replicating nanotechnology operating undetected across the planet. Automated AI drones patrolled orbital paths, invisible yet effective. Entire fleets simulated in attack exercises were neutralized before landing. The scale and sophistication stunned alien engineers. Humanity, small and technologically modest on the surface, possessed defenses that could annihilate overwhelming forces. Analysts concluded the species was untouchable, not because of brute strength, but because of ingenuity, creativity, and adaptability. Alien leaders convened emergency councils. Decisions had never been this difficult. Dozens of fleets, each capable of planetary bombardment, remained in orbit, engines idling while predictions failed to account for human unpredictability. Every simulation underestimated human resilience. Analysts realized humans were not following predictable patterns; they improvised, adapted, and exploited weaknesses others could not perceive. Small, fragmented societies had built defenses and strategies that challenged galactic expectations. Earthlings had survived by being unpredictable, clever, and relentless. While alien factions debated, Earth remained largely oblivious. Citizens went about daily lives, unaware that the galaxy observed every move. Military leaders strategized, governments argued, and ordinary humans innovated and adapted without conscious awareness of their global significance. Nature, technology, and human creativity intertwined to form a protective mesh that eluded observation. The more aliens studied, the more baffled they became. Humans thrived in uncertainty, turning disadvantage into opportunity. For the first time, alien civilizations considered non-aggression as strategy. Human unpredictability, hidden technology, and ingenuity had introduced a variable impossible to calculate fully. No fleet, weapon, or council could determine a guaranteed outcome against Earth. Discussions shifted from attack to observation, from conquest to caution. The anomaly was no longer curiosity, it was respect, fear, and strategic recalibration. Humanity, a species that seemed weak and vulnerable, had become untouchable through creativity, resilience, and audacity. The conclusion was undeniable. Earth's survival was not accidental, nor the result of random luck. It was the outcome of a species that innovated constantly, adapted instinctively, and concealed power behind a facade of normalcy. Analysts across the galaxy revised protocols, simulations, and doctrines. Where other species relied on raw strength or overwhelming force, humans relied on intellect, ingenuity, and unpredictability. This revelation redefined interstellar strategy. Even a small species could influence galactic dynamics through audacity and cunning. As alien fleets lingered in orbit, hesitant and uncertain, the HFY principle became clear. Humanity's power was in its mind, its creativity, and its refusal to submit to expectation. The galaxy had misjudged humans for centuries. The more observation revealed, the more respect and caution grew. For a species so small in scale, the human spirit had engineered survival mechanisms that rendered brute force irrelevant. Every calculation reinforced the same truth: humans could not be predicted, controlled, or eliminated easily. Even as debates continued, a subtle tension pervaded alien councils. Analysts could not dismiss the pattern. Humans, weak in appearance, strong in spirit, and capable of ingenuity far beyond observed technology, had reshaped calculations at every level. Earthlings, unassuming and unaware, had created a reality in which the galaxy hesitated. HFY was written not in fleets or weapons but in adaptability, creativity, and audacity. The species' continued survival was a testament to intellect, resourcefulness, and unpredictability that no civilization could ignore. By the time observation concluded, the consensus was clear: humans were untouchable not through raw power, but through the combination of innovation, strategy, and relentless ingenuity. The galaxy would watch, learn, and respect Earthlings, for they were the exception to every rule. The mystery that began as curiosity ended as revelation. A small planet, a seemingly weak species, had quietly rewritten expectations. Humanity had proven that intelligence, audacity, and resilience could defy logic, survive against impossible odds, and earn cosmic recognition. Aliens continued their scrutiny, diving deeper into Earth's hidden layers. Initial scans had revealed nothing overt, yet anomalies persisted. Automated defenses operated with precision beyond observed technology. Self-replicating nanotech spread across strategic areas, adapting to threats silently and efficiently. AI drones patrolled orbital corridors, invisible yet capable of neutralizing intruders before detection. The scale was staggering. Human technology was not built for display, it was built for survival. Engineers and analysts across civilizations struggled to model its functionality. Every simulation collapsed under the weight of unexpected human ingenuity. Patterns emerged that confirmed the HFY principle: humans thrived through cleverness, adaptation, and creativity. Historical conflicts illustrated a species capable of improvisation, turning disadvantage into advantage repeatedly. Alien simulations of invasions repeatedly failed. Fleets sent to test Earth's defenses disappeared without warning, energy signatures suggesting neutralization far beyond what conventional weapons could achieve. Analysts began to understand that survival was not about overwhelming strength, it was about unpredictability and relentless problem-solving. Deep scans revealed intricate networks connecting terrestrial and orbital defenses. Nanobots repaired infrastructure autonomously, AI systems learned from each encounter, and human engineers exploited weaknesses in predictable algorithms. The sophistication of integration stunned alien observers. The HFY element was undeniable: humans had combined ingenuity, resilience, and adaptive technology to create a defensive network that defied conventional analysis. A species that seemed weak could withstand forces exponentially stronger, relying not on raw power, but intelligence applied with audacity. Aliens attempted direct communication with Earth, seeking to probe or provoke. Messages went unanswered, intercepted by silent, automated systems that relayed intelligence back to orbital drones. Humans did not respond openly, yet actions were always anticipatory. Fleets recalculated, simulations failed, and councils debated: could a species so small possess such comprehensive defensive capabilities? Analysts concluded that humans' unpredictability amplified that technological advantage. No conventional threat could succeed against a species that thought differently, adapted constantly, and concealed its strength behind apparent vulnerability. The HFY principle deepened with each discovery. Humans were resilient not only in technology, but in behavior. Analysis of societal structures revealed a species capable of rapid collaboration under stress, improvisation when systems failed, and ingenuity in exploiting environmental resources. Alien leaders recognized that unpredictability was itself a weapon. Conventional doctrines relied on expectation, algorithms, and predictable tactics. Humans defied every model, every calculation. The galaxy began to comprehend that Earthlings had survived precisely because they could not be anticipated, constrained, or standardized. Further examination of orbital defense grids demonstrated near-perfect coordination between automated drones and planetary systems. Nanotech responded to environmental cues, neutralizing threats silently. AI systems predicted movement, calculating outcomes far beyond alien comprehension. Analysts began to grasp a truth that shifted galactic perspective. Humans were untouchable not because of scale or firepower, but because intelligence, creativity, and audacity created a level of defense no other species had achieved. HFY was not in brute strength, it was in strategy, improvisation, and relentless adaptation. Alien fleets remained on hold, unsure whether to proceed, observe, or retreat. Councils debated hypothetical scenarios. Could humans be provoked, or would they adapt too quickly for any plan to succeed? Analysts ran thousands of simulations, yet each failed to replicate observed outcomes. The conclusion was inescapable: Earthlings were uniquely formidable, not through overt aggression, but through ingenuity and resourcefulness. Every failed attempt reinforced the principle that unpredictability, combined with adaptive technology, was humanity's greatest weapon. Humans themselves were unaware of the full scope of their advantage. While alien observers calculated outcomes and debated strategy, ordinary citizens innovated, created, and adapted daily. Simple inventions, small engineering adjustments, and communal problem-solving contributed to a planetary system of resilience that no outsider could fully measure. The HFY principle shone. Survival and dominance did not require enormous fleets, only intellect, creativity, and the courage to act boldly when circumstances demanded. As months passed, alien respect for humanity grew. Militaristic factions became hesitant, while diplomatic councils advocated observation. Earth's existence had reshaped strategic calculus across civilizations. A species that seemed insignificant had created an asymmetric advantage so profound that direct confrontation became unthinkable. Every signal, every adaptive response, and every unpredictable decision by humans reinforced their position as a species impossible to attack without incurring unacceptable risk. The final realization crystallized: humans were untouchable not because of conventional strength, but because of the integration of ingenuity, technology, and unpredictability. HFY was evident in every automated defense, every improvised solution, and every adaptive tactic. Analysts, engineers, and leaders across civilizations documented lessons that would redefine galactic strategy. Humans were an example of how creativity, resilience, and audacity could rival, and even surpass, overwhelming force. Alien fleets remained poised but restrained. Earth had become untouchable, not through intimidation, numbers, or brute force, but through intelligence applied with precision, ingenuity applied relentlessly, and unpredictability wielded as a shield. Humanity, unaware of the scale of observation, continued ordinary life while the galaxy adapted its expectations. HFY was alive. A small species had created defenses that no civilization could fully anticipate, proving that courage, creativity, and adaptability could alter the course of interstellar history. Across the galaxy, alien councils convened in urgency. Intelligence officers presented reports on humans, their hidden technology, and unpredictable strategies. Militaristic factions argued for preemptive strikes, convinced Earth's defenses might conceal offensive capabilities. Diplomats counseled caution, warning that aggression could trigger outcomes no civilization could predict. Analysts ran simulations repeatedly, yet every scenario ended with failure. Humans, small and seemingly fragile, defied conventional tactics. Each failed attempt reinforced a growing consensus: this species could not be calculated, constrained, or defeated through standard methods. Fleets remained in stasis, engines humming, while debates consumed councils. Alien leaders recognized that humans were more than a curiosity, they were a variable that could disrupt long-held strategies. Some civilizations began to observe quietly, sending reconnaissance vessels and probing indirect signals, seeking patterns yet finding unpredictability. Every interaction reinforced the principle that humans thrived on improvisation, creativity, and audacity. Where other species relied on brute force, humans relied on intellect applied with cunning and adaptability. Stories of human ingenuity spread through the galaxy. Minor encounters were exaggerated, small victories amplified into legends. Even when evidence was scarce, the perception of humans' capabilities grew. Factions that had once dismissed Earth as insignificant began to respect it, some even advocating indirect diplomacy instead of confrontation. The galaxy learned a hard truth: humans survived not through overwhelming strength, but through unpredictability, creativity, and an innate ability to exploit every advantage. HFY was evident in every anecdote, every intercepted transmission, and every failed calculation. Galactic's strategy shifted. Fleets intended for rapid assault were repurposed for observation. Councils that had relied on deterministic models recalculated priorities. Analysts debated whether humans were threat, asset, or anomaly, ultimately concluding they were all three. Diplomacy, caution, and study replaced aggression. Alien civilizations realized that a direct attack on Earth was no longer an option. Humans' ingenuity, adaptive technology, and unpredictability created risk far beyond acceptable levels. On Earth, life continued mostly unaware of the cosmic scrutiny. Citizens innovated, adapted, and created solutions for ordinary and extraordinary problems. Militaries tested defensive strategies, engineers developed new systems, and scientists pursued knowledge. Each act, no matter how mundane, contributed to a global network of resilience that the galaxy observed and respected. Humans, oblivious to their role in shaping interstellar perceptions, embodied the HFY principle: small, adaptable, and intelligent, they commanded influence far beyond their size. Alien simulations emphasized human adaptability. Attempts to predict behavior failed consistently. Fleets poised for attack could not anticipate the ingenuity humans would display. Even when outnumbered or outgunned, humans improvised, turning disadvantage into strategic advantage. Analysts documented these patterns across centuries of observation. The lesson was consistent: unpredictability, creativity, and courage were more powerful than raw strength. Humanity's audacity had become a defensive weapon more effective than fleets or superweapons. As fleets lingered, debates intensified. Some alien factions proposed alliances, suggesting humans' unpredictability could be an asset. Others remained skeptical, maintaining standoff positions and extensive surveillance. Every message sent, every action taken by humans, reinforced uncertainty. Alien leaders began to accept that humans had rewritten the rules of engagement. Survival was no longer guaranteed through size or firepower but through cleverness, audacity, and adaptability. Analysts observed that humans' societal structures amplified their advantage. Collaboration under stress, rapid problem-solving, and unconventional approaches to conflict and resource management made the species resilient. Small teams achieved outcomes that fleets of thousands could not. Unpredictability became a strategic factor. Alien civilizations realized that planning against humans required accounting for variables no model could fully predict. HFY was evident in every calculation. The species' strength lay not in dominance, but in innovation and spirit. By the end of deliberations, alien councils reached a consensus: Earth would not be attacked. Fleets held in orbit, observation intensified, and the galaxy adapted its strategies. Humans, unassuming yet formidable, had become untouchable not through firepower, but through intelligence, creativity, and relentless adaptation. The HFY truth was undeniable: a small, seemingly fragile species had inserted itself into interstellar strategy, influencing decisions across civilizations without engaging in direct conflict. Earth's reputation now preceded it. Factions approached indirectly, sent observers, and debated potential engagement. Myths and legends amplified humans' audacity, painting a species capable of overcoming impossible odds. Alien leaders revised doctrines, simulations, and expectations. Humans had become a symbol of ingenuity, adaptability, and courage, reshaping the galaxy's understanding of power. HFY was clear: intellect and audacity could surpass size and strength, and humanity had proven it beyond doubt. Alien fleets lingered in tense anticipation, but no assault occurred. Humans, unaware of the full extent of observation, continued ordinary life while unknowingly shaping galactic strategy. Their unpredictability, hidden technology, and audacity had forced civilizations to reconsider assumptions and re-evaluate priorities. The galaxy had learned that humans could not be predicted or constrained, and respect became the only rational approach. HFY thrived in every aspect. Cleverness, adaptability, and audacity had become humanity's ultimate defense. The conclusion was inescapable. Earthlings had survived not because of overwhelming strength, but because of innovation, ingenuity, and strategic unpredictability. Alien councils documented lessons, revised doctrines, and circulated reports emphasizing the unique nature of humanity. One small species had rewritten expectations, demonstrating that creativity and courage were as decisive as any weapon. Humans had proven that even the weakest appearing species could wield influence across the stars through intellect, audacity, and resilience. Alien fleets maintained positions, engines humming, while councils debated next steps. Observation replaced aggression. Analysts emphasized the human variable, unpredictable, ingenious, and adaptive. Every encounter, every anomaly, and every historical record reinforced the conclusion: Earthlings could not be attacked without risking total failure. Militaristic factions reluctantly conceded that the species' strength lay not in numbers or technology but in creativity and audacity. Diplomats advocated patience, proposing study and indirect engagement rather than conflict. Humanity had become a force defined by intellect, adaptability, and relentless ingenuity. Across civilizations, reports circulated that humans were untouchable through conventional means. Minor skirmishes and historical engagements had been exaggerated, fueling legends that transformed into strategic caution. Alien fleets maintained standoff positions, while councils acknowledged that even the most calculated offensive could fail against a species capable of improvisation and rapid adaptation. Earth had reshaped galactic priorities. HFY was evident. A species small in size had altered the strategies of countless civilizations through intellect and audacity alone. On Earth, humans remained unaware of the galaxy's scrutiny. Citizens continued to innovate, collaborate, and adapt, contributing unknowingly to a planetary network of resilience. Engineers, scientists, and ordinary people each played a role in a system that no alien civilization could fully perceive. The HFY principle was clear. Human survival and influence were driven by intelligence, creativity, and audacity. Ordinary actions compounded into extraordinary outcomes, demonstrating that unpredictability and ingenuity could rival fleets, weapons, and strategy. Alien simulations confirmed the pattern. Humans adapted faster than any model predicted. AI, nanotechnology, and improvisational tactics neutralized threats silently, effectively, and unpredictably. Fleets poised for attack were unable to anticipate human response. Analysts concluded that unpredictability, combined with adaptive systems, was humanity's ultimate advantage. No conventional strategy could succeed, and even indirect engagement carried unacceptable risk. The galaxy had recalibrated its perception. Humans were untouchable because they were inventive, resourceful, and audacious. Diplomatic factions proposed observation alliances, suggesting humans might be valuable partners or unpredictable allies. Militaristic leaders remained skeptical but acknowledged the risk of miscalculation. Every intercepted transmission, every observed adaptation, reinforced a single truth: humanity's ingenuity, audacity, and resilience created an influence disproportionate to size or apparent strength. HFY was undeniable. A species once underestimated had become a defining factor in galactic calculations, shaping decisions and strategies without direct confrontation. Reports of human ingenuity spread between systems. Legends exaggerated minor successes, yet these embellishments reinforced alien caution. Earthlings' unpredictability, combined with hidden technology, compelled civilizations to reassess assumptions about strength, strategy, and power. Analysts documented lessons learned. Brute force alone could not overcome a species that adapted, improvised, and leveraged creativity as a defensive weapon. Humans had demonstrated that intellect and audacity could equal or surpass the effectiveness of fleets, armies, or advanced technology. As alien leaders observed, fleets remained poised but inert. Councils debated indefinitely, unable to fully quantify human potential. Earthlings, unaware, continued their ordinary lives while the galaxy respected their capability. HFY was expressed in every innovation, every adaptive response, and every decision that defied expectation. Survival had become an art of ingenuity and unpredictability, demonstrating that small, seemingly weak species could wield influence far beyond physical power. Even the most advanced civilizations acknowledged the transformation in strategic calculus. Humans were no longer a passive species. Their ingenuity, audacity, and hidden capabilities had forced the galaxy to reconsider engagement doctrines. Observation replaced aggression, diplomacy replaced assault, and respect replaced contempt. Humanity's influence spread silently, yet powerfully, through a reputation built on adaptability, innovation, and courage. HFY thrived as humans reshaped interstellar expectations without ever knowing it. In the final assessment, analysts concluded that Earthlings' true power was unpredictability amplified by ingenuity and audacity. Militaristic factions adapted doctrines to avoid confrontation, while diplomatic councils considered tentative engagement and alliance. Humans had become untouchable not through size, fleet strength, or visible technology, but through intelligence, creativity, and relentless problem-solving. The galaxy had learned a profound lesson. The most formidable weapon was human audacity combined with adaptability. Earth remained untouched, its citizens unaware of the cosmic recalibration their species had inspired. Alien civilizations, previously confident in their dominion, now approached with caution, observation, and respect. HFY was undeniable. Humans, small, inventive, and audacious, had rewritten the rules of interstellar engagement. Their influence extended silently but decisively, proving that survival, dominance, and respect could be achieved through ingenuity and unpredictability rather than brute force. The galaxy had been shaken, recalibrated, and awed. Humans, unassuming and unknowing, continued ordinary life while commanding extraordinary influence. Their ingenuity, audacity, and resilience had created a shield and a reputation impossible to ignore. HFY shone in every action, every innovation, and every adaptive response. The species that once seemed insignificant had demonstrated that intellect, creativity, and courage could reshape destinies across the stars. The universe had learned to respect humanity.